So we've come to the end, and I think we've ended it on a bit of a high there. Really, really good to hear the views from Europe, not just on how and where we've got to where we are, but where we're going into the future as well. And really, we're hearing a lot about change and increasing responsibilities for audit committees and indeed for auditors and for regulators. A few thank yous. I'd like to thank all the speakers. I'd like to thank my fellow panelists. I think that was a very interesting session as well. I'd like to thank the team who worked here today to make everything work so smoothly. Thanks Mairead, thanks Trina, and thanks to Barry Tully also. I'd like to thank all you. And hopefully you found this really useful. We are looking for your feedback, so there'll be a link that will be made available to you so that you can see, or sorry, you can tell us what you think worked, what you think might improve into the future. So what we might do now is we might take a final look at that first Slido question we asked, which was, what do you think will be the challenges in a virtual setting? So 3 big items there. First of all, audit comfort in a virtual setting. So this is the second year of this for auditors and audit committees, for many of them anyway. A lot of work was done last year. As regulators, when we carried out our inspections, we were making sure, and the message we clearly communicated was that standards remained the same, whether you're doing an audit on site or virtually or a hybrid. And one of the things I think we will actually see going forward, and it's something as regulators we will monitor, I think it's something audit committees should be monitoring as well, is what sort of permanent changes you'll now see and how an audit is undertaken now that the technology has been bench tested, so to speak, and we know the capabilities. At the same time, there is no replacing the looking people in the eyes and doing that sort of work on site. The impact of COVID-19 on financial statements, that's a very important issue for audit committees. We're looking now at the unrolling of government supports. There are reports in the media increasingly that liquidations and insolvencies have been held back, but now that there's going to be an increasing number of those. So if you look at the standard requirements and going concern, they are something now that in the first instance, the finance function and the audit committee and then the auditors are really going to have a look at and take some hard, objective, potentially skeptical views on whether these businesses are going to survive. Fraud is the other big word there. So there is a new standard coming out that IAASA has issued in relation to fraud. And again, what that's really getting at is the auditor is taking more objective, potentially more skeptical view, effectively trying to seek out where there may be instances of fraud, not just taking the messages of management as read, where they're making representations, but also to seek out where perhaps audit evidence counters that sort of information that the directors and the finance function supply to auditors. So it's providing a new perspective for auditors on how they deal with fraud. So they're the 3 main ones. The other ones there, regulation. It should be something I think that is on every audit committee's list. I hope that the work of IAASA in terms of, for example, our audit inspection reports are part of the supports, and indeed this session this morning are part of the supports that regulation provides to audit committees and allows them to do their work better. Disruption due to cyber incidents, and we're seeing that obviously all the time. We've had one of the most significant ones in global history in this country with the HSE this year. So it's really, I think, got to be top of every organization. And in terms of the internal control function, the IT control that we talked about in the panel this morning, for example, cyber incidents and cyber control is huge in relation to that. Sustainability disclosures, impact on environment, we've talked a lot about that. And then increasing regulation and pace of change, I see there as well. And what we've heard is, yes, it's there, but very much it is responding in many ways to the demands of the market. So if you look at sustainability reporting, to give one example, there are countries and there are companies that are already doing this, and there are investors and other stakeholders who want to see this. So this is really the market responding to all those sorts of things. So that's great. Listen, thank you very much. We've had a really enjoyable morning here. I hope you found it a very enjoyable morning too. Looking forward to hearing your feedback and seeing how we can improve this and retain what's good within it. So thank you all very much and have a good day.